to the radio, and also Sister Helen. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Now, as we proceed, and you have a question or remark, please feel free to call the studio line 020-737-1619. This is your moment. Well, Iwan, please tell us. I'll call you Iwan, by the way, if you don't mind.
Don't worry.
Can you tell our listeners your position and function within the Groenlinks Party?
I am, some words got to be in Dutch, but I think a lot of people understand those words. I am the fractievoorzitter from my political party, GroenLinks, in Amsterdam Southeast. That means I am just like, I'm the leader from my political party, GroenLinks, in Amsterdam Southeast. I have a fraction, a group of 7 people in my political party who are active in Amsterdam Southeast, and we have one person who is member of the dagelijks bestuur. We call it wethouder.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And yesterday I was at the Congress from my political party that's from the whole country, and we were there with about 1,500 people. Talking about the way forward we have to go, because you know there was a lot of damage in GroenLinks last year. We lost a lot of seats in the parliament. A lot of people left their membership of the board, and we had to
fix all those things, repair all those things, all those damages.
And we had to choose a new board, and I'm very optimistic. What I saw yesterday, I'm very proud of my party, because everything is going well, the organized well, the discussion was well. Everybody who want to say something could have said something. So I'm very optimistic, and I hope we will get our seats back, which we lost in the last election. Okay. So when it was in September, when we lost so many seats. And about the position.
What really happened, and on which grounds did you lose those seats? And have you taken a position which will make sure that your voters or your members, stay with you, because your agenda aligns with their aspirations and their hopes?
I think, from my opinion, there were 2 problems. The first was an internal problem, because about the leadership. There was a chosen leader, Jolanda Zap, and there was a young man who said, I can also lead this party. His name is Tawfik Dibi. So there was a leadership problem. Because the way the board handled this case about leadership, that made that a lot of people left the party, and that made that the press just jumped on it. You know, the press like commotion and everything, and they jumped on it, and then they say, you see, you have a problem also. And you know, when a political party has internal problems, you always see the facts, the consequences. You know, about, and then people say, hey, the party is not stable, so I won't give them my vote. That's one. And the second one is that people could not recognize us anymore. Because when you are a political party, you need to have your goals. You make people know what you are going for. And poverty, what we are going to talk about, is one of those things. My political party is always a party who is taking care of people behind, not behind, on the underground. You know, people, poor people, women with children, prostitutes, people who are sleeping on the street, homeless people. So the people who are on the underside of the level.
Underprivileged,
Oh, you call it okay. I don't know all the English words, but I think so far so okay. Okay, and people could not recognize us anymore. And we are also a green party. So people say, what's happened with you? You are not in the center where all the political topics we are talking about. So because of the internal problems, the press just marginalized us. They put us aside. So they didn't give us the space to make our statement. The big political parties, the men, you know, PvdA, VVD, CDA, they were the men who were talking in the press. But GroenLinks was left aside. So people say, you see, you don't count anymore. You have internal problems. So this time you won't get our vote.
Wow.
And that was a very hard lesson
Very
for
hard
us.
lesson.
Even here in Southeast, we people talk to us on the street, you know. And what we decided yesterday is that we look forward now, and we're gonna let people know what we are going for, and let people know that we are there for them. The green, for the green, so it means what you say?
For the green.
Green, yes, yes, and the green issues, yes, and the social issues, because that's one of those strong issues that GroenLinks is always based on.
Okay.
The social topics.
Yeah. Good. Now, but congratulations, by the way, for getting things in order now in the party.
Yeah.
Now, to what I will call your passion, you know, poverty, dealing with poverty.
One of the passions.
One of the passions, yes. When do you consider someone as having fallen below the poverty line here in Southeast?
That's a good one.
One more time, what do you?
When do you consider somebody as having fallen below the poverty line? At what point?
There is a line. You must be able to pay your rent. You must be able to put food on the table. You must be able to pay your medical care. You must be able to have something left to do nice things.
Yeah.
For example, sports. For example, go to the cinema.
Oh, yes. Okay.
If you cannot do those things, then you have a problem. And a lot of people, you know, when you get all those bills, and Holland is a country with a lot of bills, everybody knows that.
Yes.
The moment you are registered, you know, the moment you are born, you are coming in some financial debts. Yes.
It's terrible.
And the how people get there, there is a line from about 1100 that everybody must have every month to pay everything. If you don't work, because if you work, you earn a lot more. But 1100 euros, that's the basic that everybody needs to do all the things. And when you don't work, because it's a big problem in this country at this moment, a lot of people don't have work. You still need to pay your rent every month.
Exactly.
And the rent is about 400, 500, 600, sometimes 700. Not everybody get, they call it a toeslag. I don't know the word in English.
Subsidy.
A top-up or something like that.
Yes. But people know what I'm talking about, I think. Toeslag. Because when you are below the line, you can get the toeslag. And what we see in this country is that they are very strict, yes. And in this country, that means when you go for an uitkering, then you need to hold yourself on some lines, some rules from this country. And the rules are okay, but sometimes I think they are the government is bringing people into problems because people don't know all the rules. And you know, we black people, we are living social with each other. That means a grandchild stays with grandma, or maybe grandma stays with the family. But all those things have consequences for your income. So let's say grandma has his own home, and you need to be registered at an address in Holland. And let's say 2 grandchildren stay with Oma and they are registered at the same address. That has financial consequences for the income, yes. But a lot of people don't know. Okay, let's say you are not registered there, but you live there, and they come to control. You know, they like to control in this country. Big Brother is watching you. It's not only the camera. They just come also to your house. They check everything. You know, on that point, I have not a problem, but I'm going to check out if the rules are, if the authorities
have the right to do that.
You have the right, and if they do it the correct way. Because sometimes I know they don't do it the correct way. And you know, if 1 month, 2 months, you're not able to pay your rent, you're gonna get in big problems. Because then how are you gonna pay once, 2 times The rent.
Yes.
You got to borrow the money somewhere. Who has money these days? That means that people, they have to put all their money they get to pay the rent, and there is nothing left. No food. Some people don't have electricity.
Yes.
You know, some people don't have money to pay the tram, the metro. That is poverty if you cannot move. You know?
Now, this is why you're here today.
Okay.
Now, so seriously speaking, what difference do you think you and your party can make in changing this picture? Because we know Southeast has a good number of people who are either in the poverty line or below the poverty line, on the line or below the line. And I believe that one of your passion is to help people like that. What difference really do you or your party, can you and your party make in changing the picture?
On the local level, we have not all the possibilities to have people. We are in a network, so when people ask me what can I do, then what I can say is I'm going to check in the network, I'm going to look in the network who is able to help you, who is able to advise you. But here in Southeast, because the government has organized it this way. We are a stadsdeelraad, but we have the central, the gemeenteraad. And they decide about the poverty politics. They decide about poverty. So we are just dependents, commission from the gemeenteraad. The name is Stadsdeelraad, but we get some money and to do something for people. But the decisions about poverty, they are made in Den Haag. Den Haag say this is the way we're going to do it. And Amsterdam you get some money, and Amsterdam say Southeast, here you have some money to do some things for us. So what I can do in my line in GroenLinks is to, just like we did yesterday also, but we are constantly in discussion with the party. That means the next topics for the next elections, we have 3 topics. That means we are going to talk about
transportation?
Yes. And we're going to talk about the environment, milieu, and we're going to talk about social. Because, and social means work, poverty, all the people I just mentioned who are on the underside, on the under level of living. So what we have decided is that we're going to show people and going to talk to people about that issue. Because when the government, now we have a government from PvdA and VVD, when the, how do they say it?
You can use a Dutch word.
The Dutch word is regeerakkoord.
The coalition. The government agreement by the government, or
the agreement coalition about what they are going to do the next 4 years. Then it is very important that because I was sitting here when we were talking about the decisions, and we have to make for the next 4 years. I was sitting with Marcela Rose and with Emilienne to talk about what we are going to do the next coming 4 years in Southeast. It just happened like that in Den Haag. That means the parties who are going to form the government, they need to have the issue of poverty on the agenda. Yes, on the agenda.
So the question now is, if you said earlier that the Central Amsterdam gemeente, they pass down to the Stars and Southwest how much they can use to solve certain problems. Now the question is, do they receive as input from Stars and Southeast some of the issues that are most relevant and most topical, which really need more serious attention? Are you able to pass that on from the bottom up to the gemeente Amsterdam, or you only receive portions or rations which you have to work with whether you like it or not?
What we are doing, we have 2 ways. Because I just said Big Brother is watching you. That means everything that has been done in this country, is written.
It's written down.
So they have the figures about how many people are getting an uitkering.
Yeah.
What's uitkering in English?
Welfare.
Benefits. Yeah. They know how many people get that.
Yeah.
They know how many people live in a house.
Mhm.
So all the figures are able. And on base of that, and we know when we compare Southeast with, for example, West, or for example, East, or for example, North, we know exactly how many people here are living in poverty.
Okay, so tell us, if you look at the whole of Amsterdam, which Stadsdeel has more, people below the poverty line? North, South, East, West, name them.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Southeast has a lot of people who are living in poverty.
More than the others?
Yes. Let's say Amsterdam North and Amsterdam West, those three.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the figures from Southeast, North and West, there are a lot of people who live in poverty.
Repeat that again. Which?
When you look at the Stadsdeel, you have 7 Stadsdelen in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And when you look at Amsterdam North, Amsterdam Southeast, where we are now, and Amsterdam West, those three are the most where the most
impoverished. They have a larger number of poverty. Those living below the poverty line.
Wow.
Yeah. Because South, there are living people, a lot of people who don't have problems. There are some people, but it's different organized because the income is also different.
Now let me ask a question. Don't you think the government has resources enough to transform these poor or disadvantaged areas so that the people, the resources there can generate income or lift people out of the poverty? Because I believe that there's enough resources in the country to transform. Look, a few years ago in the Burma, some areas of the Burma was not the way it is now.
Yeah.
It looked much worse than it is now.
Yeah.
Now it's been transformed. Shops are coming. People are moving here and living here. People like it better here. So is it that the government doesn't want to do anything about transforming these poor areas, so to speak, and they like it this way? Is there any benefit whatsoever to the government if things remain this way?
Yeah.
Is it? I'm just curious about that.
Yeah.
Because I believe that it is possible to change things. If really
it's
we
a
want
matter
to.
of money, and we are now living in a crisis.
Well, we know that.
I'm not only active in Amsterdam Southeast.
Yeah.
I'm also active on some topics in this country. For example, the ROA.
Yeah.
And we collected about 44,000 signatures only to get some more money for the income of people who are older than 65 years. Because they say it's okay with our elder people above 65 years because they are living good. But
that's not the truth.
The truth is that only white people
Oh.
have it okay because they built a 100% ROA. That is also a welfare for people. Everybody gets it. Even the Queen gets it. Everybody has a right, but you need to build it up. Every year you stay in Holland is 2%. So if you are 50 years here, that means since you are 15 years, you build it up from the moment you are 15 years. And if you are 50 years in this country, you build 50 times 2 is 100% ROA. But we people, we are not living here for 50 years. So the difference is the white people. I'm putting it this way so people know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The white people who are born here, who live here, they have no problem. They are living good. But what about the people who just came? What about the people who came here who didn't build up? Suriname people, African people, people from all over the country. And those people mostly live in poverty. Because you don't get enough ROA, that means you have to go to the government to ask them for toeslag, yes.
Bijstand or toeslag or
bijstand, toeslag, to get some more, yes, to get to the level from armoede, from poverty. And that is the problem, because for that 200, 300 euros you get extra, you need to fill in a lot of forms. You need to hold on all the rules.
Yeah.
And I say, leave those people alone.
Yes.
65 years. Look in the winter. What are those people doing? Just sitting home because they cannot go outside. It's too, the roads are too
slippery.
Yes.
Dangerous.
Yes. And old people, you know, when they are, for example, in the sun, in Suriname or in Africa, they are never sick.
Yeah.
But when you stay here during the winter,
Yeah.
so that is also a possibility we are talking about.
Yeah.
Let those people go during the winter, not 3 months. Let them stay away 6 months,
Yes.
and let them come back. It's
expensive.
Yeah,
but
it's
still,
expensive for the country. So these, when we are talking about Holland is a very a good country with good income, it's not for everybody.
No.
We have to split it. The white people, no problem.
No problem.
They got all the benefits. And some black people.
Yeah,
some. But most of the people, we have to struggle and struggle and struggle. Some brothers and sisters I know, they got 4 or 5 jobs.
Yes.
Just to pay the rent, just to eat.
Yes.
Now, I think, you know, in the past, people used to talk about looking up to the government to solve all problems. But in I believe Holland is a capitalist country.
Yeah.
From the outside.
From the outside, from the outside, yeah. Isn't there a way we can empower people to do something for themselves and by themselves? Now, I believe as politicians, it's good to let us to influence the government to do certain things for people.
Yes.
Maybe I'm being a bit idealistic, but you know, if you're waiting for help and the help is not coming or the help is slow in coming, if it's possible to get up and do something for yourself, why not do it? So I think, let me just finish.
Yes.
I think it's important, whilst we're looking at things from the side of the government, shouldn't there be a way people can begin to look and to think ahead and mobilize people, you know, with one mind, with one effort, bring some changes somehow. I don't know how, but it can be from the angle of the people as well. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about that too.
You're right about this point, because you cannot sit and wait for the government. What you can do is you need, what I always say, what can you do by yourself?
Yes.
First of all, study the language, if you are able to. Look, the older people, the elder people, I say, okay, about a problem with the language, if there is, okay, you have children, you have grandchildren, let them help you. But study the language, because Holland has a lot of possibilities. But you have to know the way.
The way around it, the way to get to what
Yeah,
you need.
also with work. Sometimes you write a letter to a company for work. They say no. But if you have a network, it's possible through the network, because a lot of people, they get into the companies by network. My father was working there, my uncle, my brother, my friend, so they bring you in. You know? So if you study the language, you get into the network, and you got some things you need to know. How to, when you go for a sollicitatie, for an interview, you need to dress the way they expect you. I have experience. I went for an interview some years ago, and there was on the, I didn't read the letter very well, so I didn't have my suit. I was very well dressed, good dressed, but I casual, yes. And they didn't want to talk to me. It was I had an interview at a bank. So if you know the rules to make how do they say it?
To make things, to do things the way it is required. I think
yes. Yeah. If people, if you know what, because Holland.
Hello, good morning.
I'm alright.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Mr. Chidolai, I now like your program because I have a lot to offer. In the sense that there was one guy, I like to keep my way properly.
Go ahead, sir.
There's one guy who came to Netherlands. He's good in mechanics. Any auto when you park the car, you just listen to the noise, he will tell you this is the fault.
Yeah.
And when they go there, exactly that will be the fault. And the work will be easy for those people. But he wasn't documented. They were throwing him up, down, up, down. Well, now, for this skill, don't you think there should be an avenue for him to excel here?
Yeah.
That's reliable to the government. Be taking, what I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how to put it. So let's have some targets down.
Yeah.
Those talents
Yeah.
to be tapped.
Yes.
So that the economic will boom. So I know Netherlands have a lot of gold reserves that the whole world.
A lot of what? Gold reserves?
Yes. Why don't you share all these things for the, I don't know, for their citizens? And
Yes.
go and black as the man is holding and the white here. Please, let's put some targets down. There are a lot of talent which are going away.
Yes, that's the problem.
So try and develop these talents to help the economy to move up.
Yeah.
Also, these migrants can be trained in all these fields.
Yes.
If you don't need their skills here, they can also go to other countries to work so that they will leave they will leave the vacant of those people who are interested. Like the e-bottling thing you said.
Yeah.
So those people who can learn the language and excel here, they will remain here. But those people who can excel can also go to other countries to work there. So they are still acquired here.
Yeah.
Or the skills they brought, whereby they have tried to specialize.
Yeah.
They can also get interest in this world. This is a global please. Let us share all what is in God has given us. Don't let it go to one side.
No.
My last suggestion is we have a lot of companies or organizations who are moving up. Why don't we do some short-term programs by going to them for some funds so that those who can pay their rent and all that, they can feed them with some small food or some incentives to keep them going. That also helps because since I came here, I saw that the government was giving these people some food, free food or something like.
Free food? Oh, look, from the Social Bank, you mean?
No, and there was especially a Suriname woman who was cooking for them. These people. You see, they cook and they will be sharing it back for them. And also, I think they have a place for them to sleep. We can also do something from this because we are all one people who was battered in this world. Why do some have to suffer till they die? Please, let's share the God-given this well for all the people in this world.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Keep listening. Thank you so very much. Well, he said a lot of things, you know. But the fact of the matter is that there are people who come to the country, some legally, some illegally. But the fact is that
They have
a lot
talents.
of human resource is being wasted.
Yes.
Because of the bureaucracy sometimes in the system.
Yes.
I remember the frustration I had to have with getting a job when I graduated many
From
years ago.
Erasmus University.
You know, one problem I came up against was with the language. I had graduated, I mean, I was fresh like everybody else, you know, but they used the language to limit me a lot those days. You see, and which shouldn't have been the case because I did an international program. It wasn't a Dutch language, it was an international program.
In Erasmus University.
But
Yeah.
I was hindered for nothing, you know, and delayed for quite some time. So, I mean, if the rules can't really be, changed, maybe now they are a bit, I don't know, but that can really help to tap into resources and ideas people have. Look at what he's saying. There's somebody who is skilled, very highly skilled. I mean, he knows how to detect problems with autos and things like that. But this guy now is limited because of certain things.
You know, this country, Holland.
No, so let me finish. So the thing is this. We understand the fact that, okay, rules and regulations are there to make sure things function smoothly. At the same time, those of us who are trying to lobby from the background or from the underground, if you like, to make a way for those who are maybe in the poverty line, on the poverty line, or below the poverty line, to kind of pave a way for them. You said this about networks. If you have your network, you can push.
Some people don't have the network
around, you know. But the fact is that there are a lot of talents people have which are wasting, and people who don't need to be in poverty are in poverty.
Yes.
Because of the rules and the systems and all kinds of regulations, you know. So a lot of waste is happening. You see.
Yeah.
So the poverty really could easily be alleviated if we take the veil and don't try to look just according to the rules all the time, you know. Maybe it's a bit idealistic to look at it this way, but the fact remains that there's not only one way to solve a problem.
You're right about that. There are a lot of things that we can talk about. First of all, the system of Holland. In Holland, there are a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
But you got to know the ways how to come there. A network, for example, is one.
Mm-hmm.
What Holland also has, people cannot come from abroad. That's the way they think, that's the way they handle.
Yeah.
Even if you got a lot of papers, they don't accept your papers right away.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they got to check all your papers. Sometimes they say you don't get the papers by, there was some fraud to get some papers because it's very easy to make a diploma or something, or papers to let them know that you have studied, for example,
Yes.
a teacher or a doctor or something.
Yes.
So the system here, it's very tight.
Very tight.
And that means also if you are in the financial business, and also, you know, Bram Moscovici had a problem because he didn't went every year to do some extra courses, yes. And also in the financial business, every year or every 1.5 years, you need to do the permanent education. That means the law is changing, and that you have to, even if you have your diploma, that doesn't mean you are already there.
Yes.
You need to keep educate yourself. And the system in Holland is that even the school teachers, you know, sometimes they have for love for the teachers. That means they have to get the education extra.
Yeah, just hold on. Let him finish his point and then you can come on.
Yes.
Go on, sir.
And I think what we need to do as black people, because this is a black issue, because white people are okay in this country, but we black people have the problem. We need to be solidar to each other.
Yeah.
And we need to ask all the organizations who are organized, and there are a lot of people organized, who are good, well organized. We have to help each other. We have to look what we can do for each other. Because the black community in Africa, the black community in England, for example, they are working with each other. But we are so separated here. We have Suriname people there, and they are
who don't want to mix up with Africans.
Yes.
They call us Africans.
Let's take a call. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, I like your program. That's why I'm calling through.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Okay.
If I can get your Facebook or email, I want to post some
Kevin.
video for you to see really that so that we take some action on it.
Okay, that's good.
Talent in Africa, as the man was saying.
Yeah.
There was children in Nigeria who start with wisdom. They have the idea of building things like those people here in the West, in building mobile phones and small gadgets for us to buy from Africa. These children have this idea to benefit, and they start bringing out their ideas, then they say that they start to kill them or send them to witch camps and all that.
Oh.
There's one guy from Ghana also I know. He is the first Ghanaian to sell wind mill that is in this field. They said he was crazy. Secondly, they said he used witch to do all these things. They nearly lynched him. So the guy rushed down to Holland. Now, with his profile and everything, the wind mill they built, there was this photo exhibition in CEC.
Yeah.
If we physically. Why don't you give him the diploma that is due to him here for him to also excel? Please, don't let this because some people have good ideas coming here yourself. But if you don't give them the chance, they will turn out to be,
yes. Yes. That's why there's so much of vandalism. It's true. It's true.
Please give them the chance to excel, and you see that the economy will pull back like
Give me my Facebook number.
Thank you. Let me give you my email address, and then we'll take contact. Thank you so much for your contribution. I think a lot of nice things you said, and the politician will take it up, and hopefully he can do something with it.
I will do my best.
Yeah. Yes. It's 0684 606 550. So let me repeat. 0684 606 550.
Voice of Naija.
Okay. God bless you. Thanks for listening. Okay. So,
look,
yeah.
What I heard my brother is saying is that there is a lot of talent.
Yeah.
We have talent.
There is.
And we don't get the possibility in this country to use that talent. Holland is not using the talent. But we must not forget the mind of Europe.
Yeah.
We must not forget, because we must remember how they think about black people.
Yes.
We must not forget those things. It is a system, and this system will never...
Please hold on 1 second, let the guest finish.
Sometimes you need to say the things very straight, because this is a system also in education.
Yeah.
Even a child is very smart. Although the teacher is sending him the child to another school with on not her level. You know what I mean? The child is very smart. Still they send it to MBO or LBO.
Yes.
The child needs to go to 40% or another direction.
Yeah.
And if you don't know as a parent, then you just accept that.
Yes.
But that is the system here. They don't say
the system sometimes
suppresses the black.
People.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's take a call. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Yeah. It's a Messiah Redeemer.
Then you have to join.
He used some word that in Holland the laws are very tight. But I don't think that the law is inhuman, wicked. You use the word tight, wicked law, because if somebody has talent because of language or paper, why don't you give him the job if he can prove?
Yes.
Give him the job if you're an engineer. Give him the engine to prove.
Yeah.
Yes. You see, they campaign house to house for you. That's awesome. Yes, you need the vote of her. Thank you.
Thank you. I think. Look, to be realistic, we understand the rules and the laws. They are good. That's what has built Holland and made it what it is. We have to accept the fact that over the years things have changed. We've had to bring in migrants to do all kinds of work.
Yes.
Okay?
The dirty bird.
That's okay. Now, the rules which have been set for all these years, which has ruled the country, they are not exactly helpful or very supportive of the migrants who are coming to be a help to help the system run, to generate income, to do the jobs which others will not do it, etc. It's important then to take another look at the condition of these migrants and see how to take the most of what they can offer, but also to compensate them accordingly.
They know our possibilities. They know what we have. They know our qualities. They know how powerful we are, but they don't want to give us the space.
Okay.
And that means power, you don't get power, power you take. You know? And if we are, look at the Chinese people. They have some economical power all over the world because they are well organized, you know? But we are so much divided. And I'm also working now with the African Union for the benefit of Africa.
Yes.
That means we will have a parliament in Holland also, and we will have someone sitting in the parliament because you have the African Union is parted in 5 regions, and we will have the 6 regions, and the 6th region is for African in the diaspora.
Yes.
That means you and I.
Yes.
So Africa is giving us some space to have a place in the parliament. So we are working now on the European level because when you want to do something, you have to start with yourself.
Yes.
So if we start with ourselves, and it will be better for Africa. Yes. And Africa, maybe it won't happen this decade, but we have to work because I always say, because of my ancestors, they never stand still. They always were fighting for their rights. And we cannot sit here
I will have to interrupt
and do
you
nothing.
I realize, I mean, we've gone to a higher level now.
Wow.
But let's get down.
For information, because when we work on each other, the diaspora, we organize, we have connection with the African Union, and we protect Africa because they are still using all the resources from Africa. We have to protect Africa, and then maybe they will think and look different to
way
us.
of.
But we have to work on each other. We must not fight against each other no more.
Now,
Wow.
The question I want to ask you is, just to bring things down now.
Exactly.
What is the principal cause of poverty? Is it just a lack of jobs or debt because people are in debt, or are there other reasons for poverty?
You know, when you have debts, there is a possibility. There's also a system. They call it schuldhulpsanering.
Yes.
Yes, that is also a possibility to get out of it. That means 3 years, 5 years, you have to
The
live.
question is how?
Yes.
What is the cause? Why are people in debt? Is it that they don't because of no jobs, or is it because of they have debts?
No job means you don't live well.
Yeah.
You know, then you have to get an uitkering, and that means you are beperkt.
You're limited.
Yeah, you're limited. And when you are limited, you have to make a choice. What am I going to pay today, and what am I going to pay after 1 month?
Yes.
You cannot pay all your bills. When you work, you just pay everything. Still, you can go on vacation.
Yeah.
But when you have an uitkering, you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
And that means that people are building the debts. And sometimes the debts are so high that they need help. And some people don't ask to get into debts.
Yeah.
It
comes
automatically.
Yes.
You know, and what we need to do is to organize. I'm using this word every time, organize. I look at the church, for example, in America. It's a company, because the church has a school, the church has a company, the church has a network. So if someone needs work, you get into the network from the church. And I think we need to look at that system also in Holland.
Very important.
That we need to look after our brothers and sisters, and even the children.
We were speaking with somebody just over the weekend.
Okay.
This is a man of God, an archbishop who has set up. They have about $5 billion at their disposal, and they want to use it to help people who have ideas or projects, or they have things they want to do either in the church or in the business sector. They want to help them. And I couldn't believe this is not a government or a state institution. This is an individual who has access to this kind of money. It was almost unbelievable.
Okay.
I think that the limitations which we have. I think the structure here is so tight, like you're saying. Maybe it limits
there
people.
Are chances.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Education, school. Let the children finish their school.
Yeah.
Let them don't get pregnant too soon.
Exactly.
Because the moment you get pregnant, you got responsibilities because you have a child you need to take care of. And the child needs to get everything, because if you don't give the child everything, they will take it away from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people don't know that. And the moment you are pregnant, a young child, then that means you are limited. So we say education, finish your school, study the language, study the Dutch system. Yeah. Because it's a very nice system, but you need to know it. And if you know the system, you can get your way. Yeah. You can find your way in Holland.
All right, that's good. I think the lady wants to say something.
Yeah, what I want to say is that most of the time, you see that the blacks, we are agitating, we are complaining over how they are treating us. But if you look also, you see that most of us don't want to contribute anything good in the society. You just see them hanging around when they are supposed to go and work. Then you made mention about going to school. You see them just hanging out of school and then carrying pregnancy and carrying pram.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, they become vandalistic. They are the people kicking off all vandalizing in the boxes, you know, the boxes, stealing and breaking cars and all of those sort of things.
But
you see,
that is what is happening.
But we also have to help the society. We also have to contribute in the society. We don't just have to sit and want to just grab this and grab this and grab that. It is very good to advocate for the old people who have said 65 or whatever in the society. But when you trace their history and look in when they were young, what did they do? How did they help the society they are in?
Yeah, you're very right, sister, because we need to work on ourselves.
Exactly.
And even we need to look up to people who, the leaders. The leaders need to give good examples. They need to tell the people how to finish the school, how to study the language, you know. And if you don't have work, if you are not going to school, what you are going to do? There is a Dutch word that says, "Ledigheid is des duivels oorkussen."
Exactly.
That means if you have nothing to do, you are available for the devil. Yes. You know, and we must be aware that those things don't happen. And we have to take care of our family. The father is a very important person in the family.
Yes.
The mother, the elder people, you have to give them, we have to study this country because, just like I say, there are possibilities, we have to grab them. Power is, you don't get power, power is you take. And power is education. The more you know, the more power you have.
Yes.
Because if I know a lot of things, for example, when the people stop me, I mention, the first thing I say to the police, think about what you are going to say to me. Think first. Don't say anything, think. That means he has to think. Yeah. Because sometimes the policemen say a lot of things to our black people.
Yes.
And we accept it. We don't know that the man is going out of his
boundaries.
Yes. You know, and I think if we know the rules, if we know the laws here in this country, and we work on ourselves, because there is a very dangerous time bomb that's coming up, because you know history, when there is a crisis and no work, poverty is coming, then you get some war, then you get some problems, you get some criminality. Who are those people who are the victims?
Same
I'm telling you, they are going to show to us, they see you. You see, those black people, they come here, they steal our jobs. It's history. If you check the history, it always comes back. But we are here to change the history. And if we work on ourselves, we don't let that happen.
No.
So we have to put our place on the table here in this country.
Now, on that note, I'll just ask you the last question.
Thank you so much.
The answer brief because of our time. Now, do you think that poverty is a mindset or it is something that has been created? Answer in 1 minute.
Wow.
You know, poverty is also something. Some people, they automatically get into there. Let's say you